Your Honor, we're here today in the state of Ohio versus Candace Martin, case number 24 CR 1342. The defendant is present with counsel Bill Watson. We were before Judge Condon on April 7th at that time at a change of plea hearing, and the defendant pled guilty to count 1, aggravated possession of drugs, a felony of the 5th degree with a forfeiture specification, and to count 4, possession of drugs, a felony of the 5th degree with a forfeiture specification. During that hearing, a pre-sentence report and drug and alcohol evaluation were ordered. Those have since been completed, and the defendant has 41 days of jail time credit. Thank you.
Mr. Watson.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court. I'll be brief. I know we had discussions in chambers off the record, but Ms. Martin is a woman with a serious drug problem. And like most drug addicts, she was in denial, doesn't think there's a problem, and tries to pin blame on others. That being said, Your Honor, she spent the past 40 days in county jail. So after her change of plea, there was an issue with her submitting. She refused to submit initially a sample. So she was held. And so she spent 40 days in jail. And obviously, you know, she's sobered up now. She's cleaned up sitting there. She's a little bit clear-minded. I've been able to talk to her. And Ms. Martin has expressed to me that she does want to change, that she does want an opportunity at probation and treatment, Your Honor. Now, my office had reached out to Lake Geauga. They could have a bed available for her, but based upon the recommendations that were submitted, they did not secure one as of yet. But just letting the court know that there are options out there to get her into a bed immediately if that's what the court were to choose. You know, I know Ms. Martin has somewhat of a history mainly with drugs. And I also know that in the past she's had treatment opportunities that she has failed to successfully complete. But I think sometimes it takes an individual to hit rock bottom to finally realize that there are true issues in their life. And I think Ms. Martin has hit that point. I'm respectfully asking the court to take these factors into consideration and consider a community control sanction with the treatment program. Thank you, Your Honor.
What do you want to tell me?
Good morning, Your Honor. He's right. I basically did blame everybody for all my actions for a long time, but it's me. It was always me.
Including this night, right? Because you said none of that stuff was yours.
Part of it really, truly wasn't, but there's...
Then why did you plead guilty?
Well, they didn't really even charge me with the stuff that some of the stuff they seen in there, like scales and things like that, did belong to my niece, but the product pretty much was mine. The medicine, the pills, started with addiction, with pain, then it was going to school, then it was work, and then it was just trying to make it to work, not being sick anymore. I just had a lot going on with my sister and a breakup, and started to fall off again. I got myself off of opiates in like 2022, 2023. I have no desire to go back to those again, but I don't know, I was feeling on energy and I
Since when?
Again. What's that?
Since when?
Since 2023, like the opiates alone.
So you make it very hard to believe anything you're saying.
I know it.
Well, I mean, why am I going to put you on probation? You've been through treatment at least 5 times. Left Oak House the last time you went there. So why would I put you on probation? What is it there is to accomplish by putting you on probation?
For me to be home with my family that needs me.
What does that have to do with your drug problem?
I need to go to the meetings and be held accountable.
Okay, well, why didn't you do that? You've been through treatment how many times?
Just got busy with life and didn't take care of myself. I've never really done for myself. I always do for others.
So what is treatment going to do for you?
Give me time to think about me and myself and what I need to do for me instead of everybody else all the time.
But you already completed treatment. Do you think they're going to tell you something magically different this time than they told you the last 4 times?
Well, a lot of times I didn't really listen. I just looked at the clock and was ready to go. somebody actually told me to sit down and listen and relate to the things that I'm hearing. And I actually did, and I do.
Why does everybody that comes in here say the same thing to me? Over and over. And expect me to believe it.
It's the truth.
I don't know what the truth is. Only you know what the truth is. I have no idea what the truth is. All I do is look at what the record is, what your history is. And 5 years ago, you had a chance to get out of here without a criminal record, and you completely blew that off.
Yes.
So I'm supposed to think now it's somehow different? Why are you living in Ashtabula and working in Wycliffe?
My friends own it, but good friends of mine, and she's sickly. I was trying to help her get through it.
It's an awful strange circumstance.
Oh, I live in it. My house is in Euclid, and I left it.
Why do I have an address of...
It's being rented right now. It's a rental property. I had to get away from a bad situation.
Where do you live in Euclid? Did you know that? Why didn't Miss Crook know it?
I don't live there anymore.
Where do you live?
Well, I own a home in Euclid, but I live out in Ashtabula.
That's what I just said. You're going from Ashtabula to the Lucky Seven.
Yeah, well, I was in the middle of a breakup, 15-year breakup, so I left my own home.
Can I speak on Candace's VA?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm her mom. I know she was doing good there for a while, for like 6 years. She was really doing good, and then a lot of stuff happened in our lives. My daughter got sick, and Candace is a big help to me. She really is. My daughter is sick. She has cancer. She had a stroke. She had seizures. And Candace really does come over and help me a lot with the kids in the house. And she was doing really good until all this stuff started happening in our lives. And some people cope different ways. And as far as her going from Ashtabula to that work, she stays with the lady that owns the store most of the time. She doesn't travel that far back and forth all the time. And I really think this time she will do good at drug treatment, because she's got to realize, a lot of people need her. And I'd really appreciate it if you would consider it, please. Thank you, Your Honor.
So if all these people are relying on you, why are you just using all these drugs? There's no answer to that, right? There's no answer you're going to give me that's going to make any sense. Okay, so where were you getting the drugs?
Friends, people and associates I knew and met over the years.
Like who?
People from Euclid and Cleveland area near the job.
Like who?
Mike D or something names.
Like who?
What's that?
Who?
There's a handful of different people you can call and try to find stuff.
Okay, for the fifth time, who?
I mean, it's like Mike D. There's Dave. I mean, there's just
How do you meet these people?
people that work on cars or
I know, but
stores.
what do you do? Call them up and say I need whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you have their numbers?
Just kept them in my phone over the years.
Why?
I honestly can't answer.
Now, if your mom says you were doing good for a period of years, why would you keep the numbers of these dregs of society in your phone?
Poor decisions.
Right. So why did you make that poor decision? If what your mom says is true, okay, I'm gonna take it as being true and you were doing well, instead of acting like you were doing well. Why would you keep those numbers in there to go back to that mess that you were in 5 years ago?
Her just to know that I could do that. It's like she said it is, I do use it for coping when I shouldn't. That doesn't do anything but make it worse. Every single way in my life, it's made it so much worse. It may feel good for the time, but it never ends well for me at all. I don't know why I thought it'd be okay taking something for energy or pain or anything, any kind of substance. Does not help.
No, it doesn't.
Short term, in the moment, maybe felt like it did for a second, but even my nephew made a comment about a zombie on TV. Said it looks like you at night, and that's what like made me start realizing, like, wow, this 6-year-old noticed that I looked different a certain time of day. Even stuff like that got to me. I was ready to change. I just wasn't able to do it on my own yet. And everything happens for a reason, though.
Right, it does. Okay, but you don't act like you don't have any control over things happening, because you do have complete control over what happens. How many, after you were here last time, how long I'm going to depend on you being honest with me, which is a dubious prospect, but how long did you stay away from taking drugs?
2 years.
3 years?
2.
2 years? Okay. So presumably for 2 years, you had a chance to see what life was like without getting high all the time. And then you made a decision to start going back to that again. Do you like this more than that?
No.
Then why are you doing it?
I felt like it would help me at the time. I was miserable at home. I was living in hell for like a year. I went back on opiates and got off of them on my own.
What do you mean you got off them on your own?
I quit taking them and went through the withdrawal. And I finally didn't crave them anymore. I didn't think about them, didn't want them.
Okay.
But I used other means and other drugs to pacify it.
Why?
Because of the energy and the pick me up. And I knew it would help you get off of them.
So magic meth gives you energy?
It helps you get off of them, going through the withdrawals.
How do you expect you can help your mother and your sister when you're getting high all the time?
I feel it was just temporary.
Huh?
I can't. It's temporary. It's gonna deplete my body, and I'm not gonna be there for nobody. My poor nephew misses me like crazy. I know it. I'm his little buddy. It's disappointing to see how many people I hurt or needed me. My friends at the store, my mom, the kids.
All right, have a seat, Ms. Bell.
Thank you, Your Honor. I had the opportunity to review the pre-sentence report in this case, and while certainly Ms. Martin's statements are concerning, the drugs weren't hers, blah, blah, she doesn't have a problem, it does seem that she's had some time to reflect on that, and her tune has changed a little bit. She doesn't have any prior prison. She has had significant, she's had 5, based on my count, 5 treatment opportunities in the past, so the state's not entirely confident that time number 6 will be any different. However, the state would ask for a sentence of community control in this case. Thank you.
I'm not sure, and it doesn't matter to me, okay, but I'm not sure why these recommendations are being made by either the state, the defense, or probation. Because all we seem to do in this place is get our tires stuck in the mud, try to get out of it by hitting the accelerator. And we all end up right in the same place again. I'm not sure why you want to be on probation when you've determined you want to live your life by getting high. So I'm not sure what it accomplishes. Because as you've admitted to me, You didn't get anything out of treatment before because you were just interested in getting through it so you could complete that term, right? And as a result, here you are again. I'm not sure why you need probation or what it accomplishes. The reason given by Miss Bell, which is fine, okay, is that, as she said to me before we came out here, was she doesn't think that this situation warrants a prison sentence. So that's kind of what we're left with. Putting somebody in prison that really, on the facts and circumstances, doesn't necessarily warrant a prison sentence. Or put you on probation so you can blow it off once again. What's the result? This is the result. But I'll play along. I've reviewed the pre-sentence report and the evaluation and considered all the statutes. I'm going to put you on probation for 4 years. 60 days in jail with credit for 41. You're going to go to Oak House, complete that program and follow the recommendations. When you get a spot at Oak House, then the balance of these 60 days will be suspended. No drugs or alcohol with screens. You're to go to only one doctor and one dentist and one pharmacy for any medication. Take any medication you're prescribed, only as prescribed. Sign releases for probation, get a mental health evaluation, and follow all recommendations. Pay the costs and supervision fees, and complete the decision points program through probation. Ms. Crook?
The males are in the decision point program.
Why is that? Females make excellent decisions all the time, so they don't need it?
No, but it's just for males at this time.
It seems inequitable. Any other terms, Ms. Crook?
No, Your Honor. I do have just a question about where her residence will be when she...
I don't know. She'll have to tell you, and then she'll either be honest with you or dishonest with you. Where do you plan to live so we know who your probation officer will be? Do you understand the terms?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you going to put forth any effort to comply with the terms this time?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, that doesn't mean just putting in your time and doing what you're supposed to do. That means beyond a completion of probation, continuing to live the same way. But listen, you decide whether you want to do that.
I do.
If you don't comply, the state will file a motion to terminate. If I find you violated, then we'll know for damn certain that you don't want anything to do with this, so you'll go to prison for 24 months. You understand that?
Yes.
Even though the facts and circumstances may not warrant it, that's where you'll go. Remaining charges are dismissed. Whatever is subject to forfeiture is forfeited. Ms. Bell, anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank
Mr.
you.
Watson?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right.